Formula One fans, we need to talk about a shocking development at Ferrari. The Maranello squad is facing serious complications with their 2026 power unit, and the culprit? Shell's fuel choice. While the Scuderia hasn't unveiled the sound of their new engine yet, the rumors are absolutely explosive. Ferrari's reportedly hitting major snags on the dyno with their revolutionary power unit, all stemming from Shell's fuel selection. And here's where it gets really interesting. Ferrari's taking a completely opposite route from every single competitor on the grid. While the entire paddock is betting on synthetic e-fuels for 2026, Ferrari, Haas, and Cadillac are going all in on biofuel. It's a bold, controversial move that comes with serious advantages and equally serious risks. The main headache Shell and Ferrari are wrestling with involves inconsistent fuel composition between production batches. Some batches deliver incredible performance, others fall short, and the gap becomes glaringly obvious when you're pushing thermal efficiency to its absolute limit. This variability has been giving Ferrari massive headaches during dyno testing. The Italian team has responded by implementing much stricter quality control measures, which appears to have partially solved the issues. But stick with me, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see Ferrari's 2026 strategy. Let me break down this fascinating fuel situation. As I mentioned, every team on the grid is embracing synthetic e-fuels except for the Ferrari-powered cars. The prancing horse, along with Haas and Cadillac, are committing to biofuel for the 2026 engine. This strategic decision has apparently allowed them to sidestep ignition problems that are plaguing their rivals. Down in Maranello, Ferrari's engineers managed to stabilize combustion remarkably quickly, while several competitors are still fighting difficulties that directly impact total power unit output. Additional reports suggest that despite this advantage, the Cavallino team has encountered their own set of problems stemming from Shell's fuel development. So, Ferrari is placing its faith in its most historic partner with this contrarian biofuel choice. There's definitely method to this madness. Shell firmly believes they hold a significant technological advantage in biofuels, particularly when it comes to additive technology. The primary challenge lies in creating fuels with consistent characteristics despite varying factors like molecular composition, oxidation sensitivity, and temperature variations. Obviously, in Formula One, every single concept is pushed to its absolute limit to extract maximum performance. But for every advantage, there's always a corresponding drawback. According to Autoracer.it, Shell has been struggling specifically with this aspect I just explained. The biggest issue revolves around batch-to-batch variability in fuel composition. Some batches perform brilliantly, others disappointingly underperform. These differences become most pronounced when operating at peak thermal efficiency, which is precisely where Formula One demands excellence. This characteristic is inherent to sustainable fuels and has caused Ferrari considerable grief on the dynamometer. However, the Maranello outfit has imposed more rigorous quality control protocols that have partially addressed these complications. Valeria Loretti, Shell's technology manager, explained the situation perfectly. There's a fundamental shift in fuel philosophy, and it's not about the chemistry of the final molecules. We're still dealing with hydrocarbons. The difference isn't in that aspect, but rather in where the carbon atoms originate from at the molecular foundation. She continued, "The concept is that research no longer focuses solely on the final product and optimal formulation for the engine, but shifts backward in the production chain. Under the new 2026 Formula One regulations, fuel assumes an even more critical role, especially from a performance standpoint. There are two main categories: biofuels, generated through transformation of organic waste, and synthetic fuels, created through chemical reactions that reintroduce carbon dioxide captured from the atmosphere. According to Motor.es, every team will utilize synthetic fuels except for Ferrari-powered entries. This decision has reportedly enabled them to avoid ignition phase problems encountered by competitors. Obviously, extensive testing should resolve these issues, but it remains an area where teams face concrete difficulties. Today's Autoracer.it article confirms this information. In Maranello, they've achieved rapid combustion stabilization, while several rivals confront challenges affecting total power unit output. This represents a significant biofuel advantage. The ignition phase proves more stable, more predictable, more reliable. E-fuels, conversely, appear troubled by ignition phase problems, difficulties that influence total power output. Naturally, ongoing testing should solve these issues, but it's an aspect where teams are facing real, tangible obstacles. However, Shell has encountered problems during specific operational phases. According to Rosario Giuliana on X, a journalist from Italian publication AutoRacer.it, Shell has also experienced particular difficulties. The most significant problem concerns variability in fuel composition across production batches. Some batches deliver outstanding performance, others fall short. These differences emerge most clearly when operating at maximum thermal efficiency, which is exactly what Formula One demands. This characteristic is intrinsic to sustainable fuels and has caused Ferrari substantial dyno testing headaches. The Maranello squad has responded by enforcing stricter quality control measures that have partially resolved these complications. This means testing every single batch, verifying composition, ensuring characteristic consistency. It's monumental work requiring enormous time and resources, but it's absolutely necessary because you cannot afford fuel that performs brilliantly one day and poorly the next. In Formula One, consistency is absolutely fundamental. You need to know precisely what to expect, lap after lap, test after test, race after race. Finally, it's worth noting that the new fuel's cost will be truly astronomical. A single tank could reach 13,000 euros. 13,000 euros for one tank. That's an enormous figure reflecting the complexity of producing high-performance sustainable fuels. Some teams might even arrive at testing with fuels not yet completely green and therefore not homologated. This is because fully sustainable fuels remain in development and optimization phases and might not be ready for initial testing sessions. Let me recap Ferrari's divergent path from their rivals. Every team is using synthetic e-fuels. Ferrari is using biofuel from organic waste. Biofuel delivers advantages in the ignition phase, rapid combustion stabilization, while rivals struggle with issues affecting total power output. But biofuel also carries disadvantages. Composition variability between production batches, some highly performant, others less so. Differences emerging at maximum thermal efficiency. Shell has experienced difficulties with this aspect, causing Ferrari dyno testing headaches. Ferrari has imposed stricter quality control to partially resolve these complications, testing every batch, verifying composition, ensuring consistent characteristics. It's enormous work, but necessary because consistency is fundamental in Formula One. Shell's Valeria Loretti explains, fundamental shift in fuel philosophy, not about final molecule chemistry but carbon atom origin. Research moves backward in production chain. Fuel assumes critical role in 2026 regulations, including from performance perspective. Here's the situation summary. Ferrari has encountered dyno problems with their 2026 engine due to Shell's fuel. The biofuel choice goes against all rivals using synthetic e-fuels, a different, courageous path. The advantage? Rapid combustion stabilization, avoiding rivals' ignition problems. But the disadvantage? Fuel batch variability, some batches performing better than others, differences at maximum thermal efficiency. Shell's difficulties with this aspect caused Ferrari dyno testing headaches. The solution? Strict quality control testing every batch, verifying composition. Costs are astronomical at 13,000 euros per tank. Some teams might show up at testing with fuels not yet green or homologated. Ferrari trusts historic partner Shell for technological advantages in biofuel additives. We'll see whether this divergent choice from rivals pays off or creates problems for Ferrari. The 2026 season is shaping up to be absolutely fascinating, with fuel strategy becoming as important as aerodynamics or power unit design. Ferrari's betting everything on biofuel while the entire grid goes synthetic. It's classic Ferrari, Bold, unconventional, willing to take risks that other teams won't consider. Will this gamble deliver the performance advantage they're hoping for? Or will those batch inconsistencies and quality control challenges prove too difficult to overcome? Only testing will tell, but one thing's certain. Ferrari and Shell are walking a tightrope between innovation and chaos. The stakes couldn't be higher as we approach the new era of Formula One.